Hello, everyone, and welcome to my live reaction for WWE Smackdown. Let's try that again, actually. Welcome to the late night WWE Smackdown reaction show. Christ, I need to get that name changed. Yes, hi everyone. Welcome. Apologies for being, let's see, how late was I today? Just the 60 seconds. Oh, that's not too bad. Sorry I'm late, folks. I'll start off with a hilarious story as per usual. I was actually early and fully ready and waiting, but then I decided to take a slurp of this bottle. Shout out to the Mighty Reds. And neglected to put the cap back on. And basically, long story short, I had it next to me. It's tipped over. Sadly, I did not think to put the cap on it, and basically, water went. Well, basically, for want of a better phrase, I just had to um, uh, wipe water off my arse, pretty much. So, yes, apologies about the late running, but I didn't really want to be sat here with a soaking wet bottom whilst trying to talk about pro wrestling, but it could only happen to me. By the way, yesterday, shout out to one of my mates. It was his birthday. We went to Beckett's Bank in Leeds. Now, if you're not unfamiliar with Beckett's Bank, that is one of our big Weatherspoons in Leeds, just on. It's in and around sort of Greek Street, basically, Leeds, as you come into Leeds City Centre. And I actually managed yesterday, not even drunk, which is quite worrying. We'd had a couple of glasses of wine, a couple of pints, 4 or 5 hours, nothing fancy. About to say goodbye to the lads. Was walking out of the pub, but I suddenly, well, I didn't realise that because it was raining last night, there was a very big puddle of water that had managed to pull its way onto the steps, and basically, your boy completely missed this, and basically, for long story short, fell on my arse in front of, well, I would imagine there was a good 300 people, give or take, who basically thought I was drunk, and yeah, it was very, very embarrassing. And basically, if you watch my video back, I ended up with that. There you go, check that bad boy out. Yeah, from falling down the steps of the pub when I'd only had a couple of drinks. I mean, if I'd had a boatload of drinks, I'd be like, well, yeah, that's fair enough, but yeah. Nearly had to go to the LGI for that one, but just about got away with it. And yeah, it's very, very embarrassing, but still, never mind. Anyway, talking to yourself, yes, charming. So folks, basically, stay safe, sir. Let's have a look. KP Mansell. How you doing, KP? You all right? Exploring J. Hi, Exploring J. You all right? Yep. No, don't think so. See you later. In fact, I'll tell you what, folks, so we don't have all this nonsense going on. Let's just clean this up a bit, shall we? Yeah. I'm getting there's maybe a few people that have had a few drinks already. Just to say, guys, like I said, I know there's meant to be etiquette on these shows. I don't speak to malcontents or shut-ins, basically. So if you're going to be rude, I will just take you straight off the channel. No arguing, no ifs or buts. Jog on. The end. Let's have a look. Newton Damish. Hi, Newton Damish. You all right? Samirita was up. Samirita was up. I don't know what you mean, do sorry. So basically, just to say, guys, as per usual, I usually do this, but this stream will be on YouTube videos probably tomorrow afternoon. Hi, Exploring Joe. And it will also be available on YouTube podcasts, and that'll be under Geek Boy Does Wrestling, blah, 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 blah. You know the deal. So we'll get into it. So, Smackdown last night. First things first, not a bad show at all. Wasn't great, but those of you who usually watch me on a Saturday or listen to it as a podcast will know that I haven't exactly been complimentary of Smackdown. There was a Smackdown not this week, but the week before, that was quite possibly the worst wrestling show that I think I've ever seen in 35 years of being a pro wrestling fan. I mean, it was basically unwatchable, absolute, utter and complete garbage. And it's not been great for a long time. Like I said, I've spoke about this before. SmackDown desperately needs some new faces, pardon the pun. They need some new talent in. They need some people coming back from injury. They maybe need to steal a couple of people from Monday Night Raw. I don't know. For me, you need someone like an Ethan Page in. You need maybe a Ricky Saints. Maybe you sign someone like a DMD if you can get her released from AEW. I don't know what her situation is. Maybe you get a legend back like a Chris Jericho or something like that if he's away from AEW at that point. I don't know. Kevin Owens coming back from injury. Randy Orton. Blah 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 blah. But they desperately need some backup because Cody cannot do it all on his own. But to be fair, I thought it was really good. Not like I said, not the best show in the world. It was still had its moments. But yeah, no, it was pretty good all in all. Let me have a look. HG Silver. HG Silver, how you doing? You're right. Cool accent. Oh, thank you. Whose birthday is today? Whose birthday? Oh, that do. Yeah. That was left over from my 12-year-old son's birthday. Because it was his birthday. Where the hell was it his birthday? No. That's really bad. I can't remember my son's birthday. No, my son's birthday was last Monday, basically, and we tried to remove all the balloons, and he insisted that they should be kept up for a week, so we have to have these balloons and happy birthday signs, basically, and which will then be replaced by no doubt of Christmas decorations before 2 weeks before even December starts. So yeah, it's that basically all that is my son's. If you listen on podcast, by the way, someone's just asked me about balloons, and that's why there's balloons in the video. So yeah, all to do with my son, basically, dude. Where am I from? Exploring J. I am from the great city of Leeds in West Yorkshire, basically. And I also support these guys. By the way, to people who subscribe who will probably end up on the live stream at some point, I'm sure there'll be one or two old faces that I love and know who will tune in. Yes, I probably will talk briefly about the Liverpool Manchester City match tomorrow, but this is the wrestling live stream, so let me just get through that, and then if anyone's got any Liverpool related things to say, which I'm sure there usually is, I definitely will address the horrendous experience I'm likely to put through tomorrow. Anyway, so SmackDown started off with Cody Rhodes. I was a bit, when this first happened, I was a bit like, oh, I'm not sure about the start. So I like the fact that he said, right, Drew, you and me are done. I want to move on. So Cody basically announced that he was going to sit in the audience, which I thought, well, that's a bit weird. But and then all of a sudden, Alistair Black's music hit, and he gets into the ring, and basically Zelina Vega, his wife, steps up to Cody and basically slaps him in the face. It was proper slap as well. Fair play to Zelina for laying it in. And that was the start of SmackDown. I just thought it was a bit clunky, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if the Alistair Black thing will honestly be a feud. I'm assuming he'll go back to Damian Priest. I've got no idea. But despite the fact it was a bit clunky, I like the fact at least it was something different. And I actually really like Alistair Black. I've not really had a chance to talk about him much since he came back to WWE, but I actually really do like Black. He's one of my favourite wrestlers. And I'm not sure if he's at world heavyweight title sort of level yet. Maybe if they get a few wins behind it. I mean, the first things first is they need to end that Damian Priest and Alistair Black feud as quickly as possible. And Damian Priest, while on the subject, needs to turn heel. And in my opinion, I would just transport him back to the Judgment Day. And just if Dom Mysterio is going to end up being booted out of the group, because maybe that's the way they're going to go. Maybe they're going to turn Dominic full face. I don't know. But I would just have Damian Priest come back, basically destroy him, and just acknowledge it and just have Dom turn heel. What that has to do with Alistair Black, I'm not into. Oh yeah, so basically, long story short, it was a bit clunky, a bit of a odd way to start it, but I just thought to myself, right, at least they're now trying something new, which is fair enough. I didn't quite watch the whole thing in order, so sorry if I've gone like too far or too long, but the next thing I've got down to talk about is Jade Cargill. Really like this, to be honest, and it sounds very unusual coming from me, but I actually liked the fact that it was a very short promo, i.e. she was on the mic for, I don't know, like 30 seconds, maybe a minute or something like that. And basically, apologies in advance, by the way, to little ones listening. I don't usually swear on podcasts, but obviously I have to an extent, to say what Jade basically said. She said something along the lines of, all the women that now here know that I am that bitch. And then basically she might drop the microphone. And I just thought it was it was kind of like a few years ago. I don't know if anyone remembers when Roman Reigns beat the Undertaker, and everyone was booing him. So this is before Roman was like tribal chief, like when just no one liked him. He was getting on people's nerves, and he let all the crowd boo him for 2 minutes. Looked around, controlled the crowd, and then eventually when they stopped booing, he just said, "This is my yard now," and basically he might dropped it and walked out. It was that same sort of promo. Really liked it for what Jade Cargill is. See, the thing is, Jade can talk as well. If you hear her in real life, if you let her talk and just do it from the heart, I think she's actually really, really good. It's when she does the scripted. Like, there are some people that need the mic with bullet points, as Stone Cold once said. And you've got some people who just need the bullet points, mention the pay per view, mention who you're fighting, this is where we're fighting, and so on and so forth. And there are some people who need scripted. Jade Cargill should not be scripted. I reckon if you just say to Jade, you need to talk about this, 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 and this, fill in the rest of the blanks from there, because I reckon she can. There is a girl in there that can talk. Definitely. Some of the interviews I've seen, she's articulate, she's funny, she's intelligent. I definitely reckon she could do that. I mean, hopefully now with the fresh heel turn, um, she'll get more of a chance to do that. Stratton obviously wasn't there, so presumably Cargill will move on to something else. She was actually interrupted by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, so they kind of teased Charlotte versus Jade Cargill, which would be really, really cool to see, but I don't know if they can do that with her being in the tag team with Alexa. I mean, I guess they could if they just want to have it as feuds. Like, they won't keep Alexa and Charlotte together forever. I think probably when they lose the tags, they will have done enough with both of them. Alexa can move on, Charlotte can move on, they can still tag occasionally. And they can always come back to it now that people like the tag team. So I don't be surprised at all to see Charlotte versus Jade Cargill somewhere down the line, but I reckon maybe um, they might go to Mania for that one. I don't know. Maybe it's just a cool little spoiler or whatever. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Um, there was Dragunov versus Johnny Gargano. It was meant to be Tommaso Ciampa, but I think for the second week in a row, Dragunov didn't face him. I'm not sure what's going on with that bottom end of the card. It's just really weird. I mean, Gargano and Ciampa are going nowhere fast. I mean, obviously, I don't mean that insulting. They're obviously very, very talented pro wrestlers, athletic, very good in the ring, good promos, but they're just not being given enough to go off, basically. So Dragunov basically won another match. He basically beat Gargano, and that was pretty much that. There was this ridiculous bit with R-Truth where he came into Nick Holtz's office dressed as John Cena, so I'm assuming he was Ron Cena for the evening. And it was when Nick Holtis was doing the tumbler in order to do the draw about who's going to face John Cena. And Truth, honestly, just deadpan, just absolutely brilliant. It was just like, I want to enter the John Cena tournament, and he had these two balls. You know where this is going. And he's like, Nick, I want to put my balls in your hand. And honest to God, that me and my son are watching this, and my son turned to me like this. And I was just like, oh my God. Go on, laugh. And honestly, my son was in absolute hysterics. He was like, Daddy's got his balls in his hand. And I'm like, yay, thanks, Nick, for that. Cheers. And then Nichols basically said, Truth, you're actually in it. And basically, R-Truth was just like, I don't want your balls touching my balls anyway, Nick. And Nichols was like, what the hell just happened there? It sounds a lot funny the way I've described it, but just watch it. It's on YouTube now. And honest to God, R-Truth is just so funny. But again, he's an example of another thing that's wrong with SmackDown at the minute. R-Truth was, as in the Ron Killing storyline, was one of the hottest angles going in wrestling. I mean, obviously, it wasn't ever going to last forever, but WWE had a chance to do something really good with that, and it just died basically, and it wasn't followed up on. It's like, why? Why are we just dropping this for? Like, people are actually into it, and it's like the Karrion Cross thing, which I still think is a work, by the way. Um, no offense, Karrion, he's doing a really good job, but I reckon I'd be astonished if it's not work. But yeah, just it, it's just again things like this that's the problem with SmackDown. They start these new angles and this, that, and the other, and then they just don't follow through with them. So yeah, very frustrating. But there we go. Right, the next thing is something I'm going to talk about a lot more towards the end of the video. So just bear with me. They did, excuse me. They did the draw for Cena's last opponent, and it's totally left my mind who it is. To be completely honest, I completely forgot. But one of the draws they did was LA Knight, and you think Nicholas is going to say who's the next person, so he gets the paper, opens it up, and then he's just like, "Ooh," and he says, "Do you know what? I'm going to hold on to this one." And it just ends, and Graves and like Cole sat there going, "For God's sake, tell us who it is," and this, that, and the other. And I thought it was really clever because it builds up some anticipation. Oh, excuse me again. My son was like proper like, "Daddy, why is the man not telling us who it is?" And he's just, you try to explain to him, son, that they're building up anticipation. He was just like, "I want to know who it is now," and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's the idea. Welcome to pro wrestling." Yes. Let's have a look. World on. Yeah, don't understand that. Danny Ta- Oh, Danny Taylor. Hi, Danny Taylor. You're all right. How you doing? Eldo 09. Eldo 09 said, yeah, said hi, and I know who this guy is. Hello, mate. You're not gonna get me now. Uh, wow. Yeah. Wrong stream, dude. Because that's basically is pretty much hate speech, and I know exactly what you're referring to. So you are getting reported, sunshine. Simple as that, lad. Yes, I will be sorry for any Liverpool fans or anyone else who's offended by that. I know what the gentleman's getting at, and I'm not going to repeat what he was getting at. But basically, he was making comments about my football team and certain tragedies that the city has suffered. So he will be getting reported as soon as I've done this. Next, we had Charlotte versus Nia Jax. Do you know what actually? Oh, sorry. Let me have a look. I'm not going to talk much because I hurt my thumb. Oh, dude, sorry that I broke your thumb. I don't. Well, you probably missed the start of this, but I had a very similar thing happen to me, mate. Last night. So I was out. I'll just tell you, but I told everyone else. I was out with the lads having a couple of drinks last night. Shout out to my boy Ross, by the way. Happy birthday, dude. Um, and I'd only had a couple, so I wasn't like drunk or anything like that at all. And I was shaking all the lads' hands as you do. But like I said, there was this big pile of water that was on the steps of the Weatherspoons. I've not seen this. Basically fell down on my arse in front of about 200 people, which gave them all a good laugh. So half of Leeds saw me fall over, which is not quite what I want to be known for. And then to stop my head cracking against the second step, I put my arm underneath my head to break my fall and ended up with that. There you go. Check that bad boy out. Yeah, probably should have gone to the hospital. And there was one bit, lads were like, "Are you sure you're all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" It's like, we can see bits of bone and blood and stuff. And I was like, yeah, hopefully it heals. So, uh, yeah, kids, don't do what I did last night. Go to the doctor. I probably will go and get checked out, but it's been all right. So, yeah, dude, you got my sympathies. Um, the next match was Charlotte versus Nia Jax. Do you know what? I really like that match. I thought it was really good. I know people will be like, "Oh, Charlotte and Nia Jax again." Do you know what? I really enjoyed it. I thought the whole thing was absolutely fantastic. I've been really impressed with Nia actually recently. It's a shame that she's not given the ball a lot more than than she is, to be honest, because there is a really talented performer in there. I do like this thing with her and Lash Legend. I reckon that could be really, really good. Very, very impressed with her. Obviously, she's like proper athlete, Lash Legend. I'm guessing she's my height, probably be a bit taller. I'd imagine she's 6'1", 6'2", something like that. Um, Athletic, she can move in the ring. She looks like a very, very talented young wrestler. So yeah, I'm quite interested in what they do. But basically, Lash Legend came in, um, basically attacked Alexa and basically started like throwing her around like a rag doll just by her head, which looked quite painful. Charlotte went to go and help, and then Nia basically just took her out and then basically did her finishing move, which involved sitting on her. Basically, I forget what it's called, but yeah. So Nia actually went over once, which I thought was good for a change. That Nia actually got the win because it's a shame for her that there's so many other talented ladies in the divisions because you talk in any other promotion, she'd be an absolute star, but it is what it is. Because uh, if anyone's watching, by the way, who's just like, why does that dude keep drinking water? I'm really sorry, I can't do this without gulps of water, so I do apologise if there's ever any gaps in the audio podcast. When it comes out as an audio podcast, it's basically me swigging water. So yeah, it's not wine for anyone says anything, by the way. Uh, and then we had Julia versus Chelsea Green. Now, this was really weird actually because I say weird. There was just no build up to it whatsoever. I know they had a sort of an interaction last week, and then Julia was like, "I'll take you on." And Chelsea Green was like, "All right, I'll fight you." And again, it's my same complaint. There's no build up. There was absolutely no build up to it. I mean, bearing in mind this was what was Julia, the United States champion? Um, I mean, I barely even saw it advertised, to be honest. That was on WWE. Given how much WWE advertise things in advance, and there was just no build, no nothing basically. Um, and it was a very, very short match. And Kiana James came out with Julia, and obviously Alba Fire came out with Chelsea. They kind of got involved in the match a little bit, but you're sort of settling down to watch it. Um, and it was like, it must have, I doubt if the match went more than 5 minutes, to be honest. It was probably less than that. And you're sort of settling down thinking, well, it's a world title match. It'll be on for at least, I don't know, 12 minutes, something like that. And then all of a sudden it's like, one, two, three, Chelsea's the new United States champion. There's Ethan Page. He lifts her up in the air. Well done, Chelsea. Goodbye. And you're just like, what? It's like, what the hell was that? So, look, I mean, I'm really hoping that Julia can recover from this, to be honest, because ever since she got that belt and got put with Kiana James, who I'm not blaming, by the way, it's just a horrendous storyline with her being her solicitor or lawyer, as the Americans would say. Um, I don't know what the intention was. I don't know if it was to like make Kiana James a heater and help Julia to get her over and vice versa, but I mean, it just hasn't worked. It was whoever that writer is, I'm not going to say needs firing, but I think the writer should probably have a look at themselves or himself or herself and go, wow, stumped the joint out with that one. Um, I would like to see Julia just leave Kiana James now and just go on her own and just be full killer mode because that's what she is basically. To be honest, I would probably move Julia to Raw if I'm being completely honest, and maybe switch one of the other women back the other way. I just think Julia will be able to interact so much better with a lot of the people over there. Like, I think she looks like a star against people like Io and Rhea Ripley. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless you can now make Julia face and have her going after Jade or have her resting um, Stratton or Charlotte or someone like that. I don't know. But yeah, she definitely needs reheating after that point. The Chelsea Green thing's a bit weird because she's not really been doing much, and all of a sudden she's the champion. And I know she's been on NXT quite a bit. I do quite like the old school Canadian group as well because you've got like of Chelsea, Ethan Page. I nearly said Ethan Hunt then, but you know that'd be weird, wouldn't it? And you've also got the foreigner to the group, as it were, of Alba Fire, which is it's kind of like a I don't know, a very pound shop the Heart Foundation from like the late sort of the early days of the Attitude Era. Maybe they could expand it with more Canadians. I don't know. Now I've said that, I'm trying to think of Canadians on the roster. I'm sure there will be. Sammy, that'd be pretty cool. Um, KO when he gets back. Maybe they. I mean, could they even redo the Heart Foundation? No, I don't know. I'm just like making stuff up there. So, but yeah, no, that was a bit. It was a good to see a title change, but it was just it was again it was just the lack of build up. It just didn't work that much. By the way, Ethan Page as well. Now I keep saying this as an example who needs to be called up. He needs to be called up to SmackDown. Why Ethan Page? Why on earth they have him at NXT when he is one of the best pro wrestlers, as far as I'm concerned, in the world, is bizarre to me. I know NXT needs names as well, but I don't know. Ethan Page does not need training on how to pro wrestle. He is one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, and he should be on Raw or SmackDown. I would probably put him on SmackDown due to the lack of star quality, personally. But yeah, let's have a look. Oh dear, here we go again. You keep going, dude. You keep going. You keep going, lad. Hope you had your fun. Pratt. Yes, folks. Again, apologies. He will also be getting reported. By the way, I should probably mention I'm actually saving all these names because I'm going to do a lovely little trailer at the start of the December, and it's going to be called Trolls. And guess whose names are going to appear on them for 10 seconds apiece, with a lovely bit of music in the background as well. So, hope you all enjoy your fun because you ain't gonna have your fun at the start of December. Anyway, right, so we've just done Julia versus Ethan Page. Oh yeah, yeah. So I can't wait for Raw Monday. It's also my birthday on the 10th as well. Oh, nice one, William. Oh, that'll be really good as well. Yeah, I usually do my live reaction to Monday Night Raw on Tuesday because sadly I was able to do it this summer because I was off work, but I'm actually back at the other job that I have, which means I now can't live watch Monday Night Raw, which is a pain in the arse, unfortunately. So, but I hope you enjoy it. I'll be doing live reaction to it on Tuesday night at 10:30. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you then, mate. But yeah, happy birthday, dude. The MFTs. Ray Phoenix versus Tola Tonga. Moving on. No, I will do something, but I mean the match was terrible. I mean, there's no other words. No offense to Tola Tonga, which is just Jesus Christ. I'm not going to say the man can't wrestle because that's one of the worst things you can say about a pro wrestler. It's extremely rude. So I will be polite and say I think maybe a spell in developmental wouldn't hurt his chances. I'm trying to be as polite as I can, but the MFTs as a group is, I think it. Look, there's always something that one of us don't like in pro wrestling. There's always people we're high on, and all of us have got this one group, one stable, or one wrestler that we can't stand and we don't sort of big fuss about. And I haven't really got that with anyone else in WWE or AEW other than the MFTs. They are a terrible, appalling, and hideous wrestling faction, and I don't know what it is I'm supposed to be seeing, but I can't see it. Maybe they get better with the feud that's coming up with the Wyatt family, which you would imagine it would be at Survivor Series. But to turn me around, at least they are going to have to be. They're going to really, really have to go the extra yard because yeah, it's just not something I'm enjoying at all. So I'm not even really going to touch on that. I am just going to say shout out as well. Anyone listening on YouTube audio after this drops as a podcast, and oh, let me just read this. Oh, WWE gave me a birthday present. I get to watch Raw on my birthday. Oh, nice one, William. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, like I said, dude, I would love to watch it live. I mean, I'm hoping I can actually watch Raw live during the Christmas period because I think I'm off for two Monday Night Raws, maybe three possibly. So I might do live reactions in and around the Christmas period, but whilst I'm still at work, which hopefully this time next year this won't be an issue. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, but until that time, unfortunately, I won't be able to do like live reactions on Monday. But I certainly hope you enjoy it, my friend. I just wanted to say quickly, this probably won't mean a lot to a lot of the maybe the younger listeners or watchers. I just wanted to send my best wishes to Mike Rotunda, basically. Now, the older people who listen to me and watch me occasionally will know Mike Rotunda as IRS, Erwin R. Shyster from back in the day. The younger people may know him as Wyndham Rotunda's dad, aka Bray Wyatt. Basically, Mike Rotunda, from what I'm given to understand, has been placed in some kind of hospice care because he's had I think it's a stroke. I'm not totally sure. Apologies if I've got this wrong, but I think he's had a stroke or he's at least very ill. That's the reason that Uncle Howdy's not been on WWE television recently. Obviously, Taylor Rotunda. I just want to give my best to Taylor and all the Rotunda family because obviously what they've had with the horrendous thing that happened to Bray Wyatt was bad enough, but now obviously Taylor's lost his brother and now he's also got his father in hospice care. I just wanted to send a shout out to both of them. His family doesn't deserve that at all because obviously they've had an appalling last 2 or 3 years ever since Bray died. So I'm just wishing them my best and I just hope, yeah, let's get you back, IRS, aka Michael Wall Street, and you're a fantastic wrestler, mate. One of the wrestlers from my childhood, and I really, really hope you get better soon, mate. And just shout out to um, yeah, shout out to Uncle Howdy, and I just hope you can keep your dad doing. I lost my father many, many years ago, so I hope you get to keep yours. So just the very best of luck to the whole Rotunda family, basically. Not going to go on too much more about SmackDown, folks. Just going to see what else. There was a Miz promo about him wanting to win the John Cena tournament. Uh, there was, and that was pretty much it. Apart from shout out to Cody and Aleister Black. I really wish Drew hadn't interfered when he did because I was really enjoying that match. Like, just for me personally, that's my style of wrestling. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I love the way that Cody went kick for kick with Aleister as well because they're both physically quite a decent match for each other. I was really, really enjoying it. I was actually, no offense to Drew, I don't mean this rude, it's him, but when he came in, because I knew there was going to be a run in, but I was just like, oh man, I was really enjoying that. I don't know if that was WWE testing the waters, but if it's a test in the waters for me, they're past with flying colours. I would be very interested in Cody Rhodes and Aleister Black. If you could maybe get Aleister Black to the point where he's a serious challenger, I reckon that would be a really good feud. Because I mean, obviously Aleister's got the entrance, he's got Zelina by his side, he's got like the jiu-jitsu moves, he's got the kicks, he's got the black mass, he's physically imposing, he's got the tattoos. He's just like, I mean, I would like to see Aleister Black as a face, to be honest. I really, really do. So, yeah. No, I thought it was fantastic. And, yeah. Yeah, overall, I thought SmackDown was pretty decent, actually. Like I said, there were a couple of bits in it that didn't make much sense to me. The Chelsea Green thing, like I said, I didn't have a problem with winning the title, but just to um I don't know, just to like throw in a random US title match and say, okay, she's the winner, hooray! Yeah, moving on to the next scene was just, it didn't really help both women, to be honest. So, yeah, so there were a couple of missteps, but overall, do you know what? I thought it was a fun show. So I will give SmackDown a B because I usually give it a ratings, which is better than the F that I gave it the other day because honestly it was absolute garbage of the highest order. And overall, I would say the best match was Cody versus Aleister Black. Like I said, I'm just a bit gutted. Nothing to do with Drew. At the end of the day, he's not the person that's writing the script. That's Mr. Levesque and co. But I would have liked another 5 to 7 minutes with that match because I thought it was excellent. So yeah, Alistair Black and Cody, best match of the night. And yeah, much better from SmackDown. So I hope they continue in that road. Right, folks, I can see the comments building up, including a couple of interesting ones. But one of the comments was from my friend. I'm going to answer the comments in a minute, folks. But yes, it was William. So William, the reason I didn't respond was I've actually done a section about that now. So I tried to work out last week who was going to win the tournament, and obviously this week I'm now like, hence the thumbnail that's on top of the video, who is LA Knight's mystery opponent, whatever it is that I've written, and I think I've got it down to, let me just have a look, about 20 people. I had it at 5, but then I went basically around, but went through the looking glass on this one. I started thinking, right, who with links to WWE is a mystery. Could it be someone from Cena's past who doesn't work for the company anymore? Could it be someone from... I can't see it being from AEW, to answer William's question. Because it would... I mean... That, look, if it is an AEW, I'll if it's someone from AEW, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong, but like, the implications of that are just bizarre, because it's like, well, what good would that do AEW? I mean, obviously it gives AEW the moral high ground. They're just like, yeah, we let our wrestlers go wherever they want. It's a shame the other guys don't do that, blah 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 blah. So maybe they get some credit for that. But then you're gonna have people going, dude, you just look like WWE is like talent robbing you. Like I said, I would personally like AEW and WWE to be. I was going to say to be friends, but that sounds really really stupid. It would be good if they were causal to each other and they had talent exchanges here and there. But at the end of the day, AEW, for everyone's complaints, is the second biggest wrestling company in the world. I mean, New Japan's obviously got an argument. WWE are the market leaders. We all know that, and that's fine. No one's ever going to beat WWE in terms of viewers and numbers, subscriptions, social media, and blah 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 blah. But AEW are basically the second biggest company in the world, and WWE do not want second place. They want sycophants, and they want companies where they can drain their talent and put them in. Again, this isn't a knock at TNA. I'm a TNA watcher. I've been watching TNA since 2006. It's not a TNA knock at all, but TNA were at the stage where they needed investment, and I don't blame them at all for doing the exchange with WWE. It's been good for their brand. But the trouble is, are they now truly independent? Because WWE, obviously, they don't own TNA, but they can. Basically, what I'm getting at is, at any given time, they can just turn around and say, well, maybe this agreement's not working for us anymore. I mean, I don't know what the exact agreement is, but obviously TNA don't want to upset that, so yeah. And then I thought to myself, what if it's someone from NXT? And I don't mean NXT, I mean, for those of us old enough to remember this, I mean the original NXT of, who was it? Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, Wade Barrett, Ryback, Bryan Danielson, the weird black dude, same colour as me. Michael Tavernier. Michael Tavernier? Something like that, I don't know. I think there was one more as well. I think they had 7, I probably missed one. Also, CM Punk was also the leader of Nexus as well, so that then set me onto another chain. Basically, long story short, I had a list of 5, so I've come up with a list of 19 to face LA Knight. This is all just for LA Knight, by the way. It's probably completely wrong. So I'm just going to go through all of that. I'm probably going to do a longer video or a vlog about this because I am quite obsessed with it now. In terms of a mystery opponent, I went through Roman Reigns. Dismissed. What is the point? It doesn't make much sense for Roman Reigns to be in that sort of tournament, although Roman logically is one of the biggest stars that Cena could have on that stage. But then again, if Roman gets a victory over Cena, if it's about a passing the torch moment, what's the point with Roman? Torch has already been well and truly passed. So is there much point? I'd probably suggest not. Um, I'm going through the ones that are unlikely, basically. Matt Cardona, yes, he is a surprise. Technically, that would work because he does have history with Cena. Um, but this is for the right to get through against LA Knight. I mean, we're not even in the quarter-final stage, so is it Cardona? Probably not. Could it be Daniel Bryan if you're going to go down the AEW route? Because again, he's got history of Cena. Would Tony Khan let one of his biggest stars go? No. Could it be Ryback? I would probably politely suggest with what he said about WWE and his very strange career post WWE, that is very unlikely. Is it CM Punk? Not a chance. Could Orton enter the tournament? I mean, Orton's not been on TV for a while, and he is a big name. Randy Orton versus LA Knight, Monday Night Raw? Maybe he's a possibility. I did think Nick Nemeth. I mean, that would be really weird because he used to be Dolph Ziggler, possibly. Then I started thinking to myself, right, what about the people that Cena's got history with? So then I was like, what about JBL? Can John still go at his age? Maybe not. Obviously, he has been doing TNA occasionally, but he's just been like the gunslinger from Preacher, basically. Like he's been a completely different JBL character. Wade Barrett. I mean, he was the leader of the Nexus. I mean, I don't know how severe Barrett's injuries are when he had to retire, but I mean, I don't even know if Wade Barrett officially retired, actually. I've got no idea, but maybe it's Wade. I wouldn't have thought so, but still. Brock Lesnar, what is the point? Because he can just destroy Cena whenever he wants to. Kurt Angle, as someone suggested to me the other day, that would be really, really cool, but it ain't going to be Kurt. I just think he's too far gone with his injuries. The Rock, I mean, as fun as LA Knight versus The Rock would be, that I mean, there's no way The Rock just shows up on a random episode of Monday Night Raw. Again, the same sort of thing for Christian. Again, why would AEW release him? So I'm getting onto the ones now that are possibilities slash really interesting. If it's AEW or someone affiliated with AEW, it's Chris Jericho. So my only question on that would be, it would be a really cool moment. It would break the internet, as the children would say, and it'd be really, really good, and it would get a huge load of views. My only question would be, why would you bring Jericho back for a tournament like this? I mean, I don't mean that rudely to Cena or participants. This is not Chris Jericho walking out in Las Vegas in front of like 80,000 people or 25,000 people at the Royal Rumble or whatever the case may be. This is like Chris Jericho turning up back on Monday Night Raw with no fanfare. Whereas if Jericho comes back, with him being one of the biggest stars in the world, basically, you want him coming back and you want it to be significant. So I don't know. I said Jericho's a possibility, maybe not. One thing that I was thinking ticked all the boxes were they said someone who didn't work here anymore and who's seen as never faced. Now, I don't know if he's never faced him because I can't remember. I'm going to look really stupid when I say this now. I think he, I think he probably has wrestled him, but I can't think of anyone. Braun Strowman. Maybe the whole Strowman has been a work all this time because it's a bit weird what happened with Strowman because he is technically actually still working with WWE. So he's got I don't know if he's had his show, but he was meant to have done some sort of show that was with WWE. He's also promoted whilst he's also been bashing them. Possibly, but Braun Strowman versus LA Knight. I don't know if that makes any real semblance of sense. Then I was like, could it be Jacob Fatu? And have they undersold? Have they deliberately oversold Jacob Fatu's injury? But again, what would be the point? Who else have I got here? My number one pick is Joe Hendry because Joe Hendry versus LA Knight would be cool. Cool AF. That would be a very, if you think of how popular Hendry is, how popular LA Knight is, like the fan base gimmicks that they've both got. That could be really, really cool. I mean, I think Joe Hendry this time next year will be one of WWE's biggest names because WWE have got to pull the trigger on this lad eventually. Like, obviously, they're losing. Cena's gone in what, 3 weeks? Roman's getting older and only has part time. Lesnar is what I would imagine getting into his mid 40s, if not a bit older. How long does he want to do it for? Does he only appear sporadically? Um, CM Punk's 47. AJ Styles is retiring, so that sort of age of the guys that we were following from sort of just before the noughties started, they're all heading out the way. I mean, Kevin Owens is currently injured. Is he ever going to be back? Who knows? You'd imagine Sami Zayn is 46, whereas Joe Hendry is what, 37, 36, 37? He's going to be around for a very, very long time. So he could be the next one to pull the trigger on. Maybe they want to use Cena to get him over. I don't know. I've got no idea, but we'll have to wait and see. Who else on the list? Said Nick Nemeth, said Wade Barrett, said Lesnar. Oh, yes, so the other two, I did think, and this would just be like WWE like playing with people. What if it ended up being Andrade? And basically WWE have done some sort of ridiculous thing where, I mean, I don't even know how this would work, where basically they implied that Andrade could go and work somewhere else, and he actually was actually still under contract. They've actually managed to get him on AWTV by accident, and then Andrade comes back to WWE. It would like the ultimate smack in the face. It would like be a reverse Lex Luger, reverse ravishing Rick Rude when the WCW was nicking all WWE's talent. I mean, I can't see that being the case, to be quite honest. And then the last one is, which is the big one, is Adam Copeland, more commonly known to WWE fans as Edge. Now, he's the one, because Jericho kind of makes sense, because I don't think Chris Jericho is signed with AEW anymore. I honestly don't. So I reckon he's a possibility, but I just don't think a match against LA Knight. I don't mean this really towards LA Knight. If it was the semi-finals or the final, and if it was LA Knight, then it's a big match. Then people get excited and go, Chris Jericho is going to be John Cena's final opponent, and that I could well understand. Adam Copeland's different because all those AEW names that I read, I think he's the only one who, if he went to Tony Khan because of his history and the fact that even if Copeland had a legal dispute with AEW and walked out, look, Adam Copeland is a very rich man. Now, it's not me having a go at him. He's been very successful career. He's a TV actor now, movie actor as well. It's not like Adam Copeland does not have the money to break himself out of a contract. But I think he's probably one of the only people who would be able to go to Tony Khan and say, look, I would just like to wrestle my friend one last time. I'm in it for the long haul of AEW. I'd like to retire here and so on and so forth. Can I just go back and wrestle this one program? I still think Tony Khan says no. But if there is an AEW person, which I really do doubt, but if there is an AEW person, then I reckon your best bet is Adam Copeland. I think with all of that being considered, I think I'm just going to stick my neck out and go with Joe Hendry. After that whole list, I mean, like I said, it could be something as simple as Jacob Fatu is now back from injuries. Who knows? I mean, he's been away for a month, but from what I'm given to understand, I thought Fatu was likely to be out as long as Seth Rollins. Maybe it's Seth Rollins, but again, that just wouldn't make any semblance of sense. It's like, haha, I tricked you all, and now I've lost my title. And it's like, that's not really tricking, dude. That's just borderline stupid. Why would someone do that for? So I don't know, but I'm going to go with Joe Hendry, to be honest, guys. So, yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to do a short or a vlog on that when I've had a bit more time to think about it. So I'll probably do that in the next couple of days or something. Just quickly, I'm going to get to the comments in a minute, guys. Sorry, I have seen comments coming through. I'm not just being a you know what. I just wanted to get all that off my head because, like, I have a bit of a fuzzy head and I just need to get stuff out of my head and like out of my mouth and away from my brain. So yeah, sometimes I just go on this massive stream. So apologies. I will get into the comments in a second. Just to say quickly, if anyone wants to, if anyone's interested in wrestling stuff, a lot of my stuff is under Geek Boy does wrestling, and Geek Boy a wrestling story, which is the podcast, which this will end up being on. All of my stuff's on at what is it now? At Geek Boy Meta 7381. If anyone wants to like and subscribe, you don't have to be honest. No pressure. If you just want to come and hang and talk about pro wrestling and chat about the mighty Liverpool, which people often do because that's something else I do on the channel, you're more than welcome to just watch and just comment, providing you are not like those two complete and utter virgins who decided to put very unfunny, untalented, verbally diarific, ridiculous comments earlier, because I will just call you a prat and I will basically just report you. It's as simple as that, lads. So if you want to do that, go to someone else's channel. If you want to be called, then I'm always happy to speak to people. And just to say, what's the other thing I was going to say before that? Oh, yeah, so if you do want to subscribe, I cover these guys, Liverpool Football Club, do a podcast with that as well called Geek Boy Liverpool Story. I do toy hunts, not comic books, comic cons even. Horror, massive horror movie fan. I've got all my horror DVDs literally behind me with a screen you can't see. Pride, shout out to everyone from the LGBTQ community. You guys are always welcome. And if you don't like it, there's the door. And yeah, obviously pro wrestling, and I cover AEW as well. So the live shows I do are this one on a Saturday night. Monday Night Raw live reaction on Tuesdays, AEW Dynamite live reaction on Thursdays, again 10:30. And I usually do a couple of bits and pieces, Liverpool as well. In terms of the next week, I'm doing, yes, Elephant in the Room. I will be doing live reaction after the Manchester City Liverpool match tomorrow, which I am so looking forward to. It's always nice to be humiliated on national TV and have your team lose 7-0. Yes, no, I'm not very confident about this at all. Hopefully I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm not the most, I'm very much a glass half empty person, so hopefully I'm wrong about that, fingers crossed. But yeah, I'm not very confident. But yeah, I'll be doing live reaction to Liverpool versus Man City tomorrow. Hopefully directly after the match. It depends if I can get rid of my housemates, otherwise known as my vaunted wife and son. Tuesday then I will be, in fact no, I'm doing a Liverpool wrap up podcast at 10 o'clock on Monday, because we all get the joy of the international break. Now if you're just here for wrestling, you haven't got a clue what's going on now. I'm just talking about Premier League football. So there's a lot of people that follow me who are like Prem fans or Liverpool fans or whatever, or football fans or soccer fans, as the Americans would say, who are very annoyed that we have to go for another international break, which basically is all your international teams, and most of us do not care about international breaks apart from the World Cup or Copa America or African nations or the European Championship, stuff that's actually means something. I mean, the qualifiers are just diabolical, even though my brilliant team, the mighty Ghana, qualified. Shout out to Ghanaians all over the globe and British Ghanaians who might be watching. Why on earth was I telling you that for? I cannot remember. So moving. Oh yeah, Liverpool. Yes, I'll be doing a Liverpool reaction show and just discussing like the first quarter of the season, because I mean we're probably about over a quarter into the season now. Monday, yeah, that's Monday. Tuesday night is, like I said, the Raw reaction show. Wednesday, I think I've got a vlog of some kind. I can't remember what it is. Thursday, I'll be doing the AEW Dynamite live reaction show. I've got an anime vlog, because I'm a bit of an anime fan as well. Coming up on Friday or Saturday. And it's from a shop called Tokyo Toys. Now, if any of you live in Birmingham, You'll know what I'm on about, but basically it's like this cool little anime shop that I found. It's like this little tiny shop, but the outside facade is really tiny. It's kind of like a weird TARDIS basically, because you just think, well, there's hardly anything in it, and then you go in, it actually extends quite a bit in the back, kind of thing. And it was just really cool. There was lots of cool anime things and stuff. I could have spent a fortune in there, but fortunately I did not. So yeah, there'll be a quick vlog of that on Friday. Then I'll be back this time next week for the late night Smackdown show, and then next Sunday, so week from, well, basically it's nearly Sunday now, so week from tonight, I will probably be doing another Liverpool beat the international break live reaction or live show basically, and yeah, that's everything that's coming up really. I'll let you know about a couple of bits. I can't even bloody speak today, which is not really useful when you've got a live stream going on. I'll tell you about another couple of bits and bats before I head off, because I'm going to wrap this up in a second, guys. But I'm just going to go through the comments because I don't want to be rude and not reply to people. Let me have a look. Do you think Edge will be in the tournament? Well, like I said, William, I've kind of answered that. Everyone is saying him or Chris. Like I said, William, if it's AEW, I think it's probably more likely to be Jericho, because like I said, I don't know the Chris Jericho's contractual status, and look, at the end of the day, no one does. I have a feeling he's not under contract to AEW, and I don't think he has been for quite some time. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but if it makes sense if it's Jericho. My only issue with that, as I said, is just like, is it a big enough stage? I mean, if I bring Chris Jericho back, I want people to see him. Personally, I would put him in the Royal Rumble. If you want to like cause an absolute explosion of noise, I would honestly hold off on Jericho until WrestleMania, and you bring him out when, let's say for argument's sake, it's Bron Breakker versus CM Punk for the world title. You bring Jericho out to basically attack either Breakker or probably more likely CM Punk, and you've got a major moment that way. And then Jericho's got a ton of heat and a ton of momentum, and you do it from now. I don't know if I'd necessarily waste Chris Jericho on LA Knight. I don't mean that really towards that, because I really like LA Knight, and I'd like him to be the world title. If it was LA Knight and Chris Jericho in the final to face Cena, now that I'd be fully on board. I just don't know if that's. It's basically it's too big a match for both of those men to have just to throw it away at the start of a tournament. But hey, I could be wrong. Travis Storm, do you like WWE? I do like WWE most of the times, Travis. Like I said, other than the recent Smackdowns, which have been diabolical, I'm enjoying Monday Night Raw far more than I enjoy Smackdown at the minute. But like I said, at least it was a decent show. WWE is scripted, right? Not an actual competition. Oh no, it is an actual competition, John. Yeah, they really attack each other with steel chairs, and police aren't called when people are attacked at ring sides of the audience, punched in the face, or people are hung up by crucifixes, or have their faces carved open with spoons. It actually does happen in real life. It's just one of these things none of us can stop, because all the wrestlers are allowed to do all the things that we're not allowed to do, basically. Yes, John Doe. Let's have a look. E504. You remind me of Morpheus. Do you know, this is really weird, actually. It's not me bigging myself up, because I'm not comparing myself to Lawrence Fishburne, who, by the way, is one of the best actors in the world, and that is a compliment as far as I'm concerned. I keep getting this about Lawrence Fishburne. Honestly, since I've been doing live reactions, but I've been doing it for about 3 or 4 months now. That must be about the third or fourth time I've had a Morpheus shout, and like, I don't know. I can't see it. I'll take the compliment, but yeah, no, definitely not Lawrence Fishburne. Although, shout out to one person actually I had a bit of banter with, actually. I don't know who he was, but he basically was giving me some stick, and I was giving him some stick back, and he basically said, "Dude, I just can't believe I'm talking to a real life fat black Cartman from South Park." And I was about to give it back to him, and I was like, Do you know what? Actually, fair play. That's pretty cool. That is a pretty good insult. And like I say, it's not really an insult. A fat black Cartman from South Park. Honestly, I am absolutely honoured with that because I love South Park. So if you want to call me fat black Cartman, absolutely made up. Let's have a look. There's a slight renders. It's like theatre in a way. Yeah. Take the red pill. Was the red pill the good one, or was it the was the? Do you know? I haven't watched that pill for years actually. Was the red pill the one where you saw inside the Matrix and how like horrendous it was, or was that the blue pill? I completely forgotten. Watching in Boston, Mass. Ah, hi Angie. All right, how you doing? Are you going to see the Cena match? The Cena match. Oh my God! Excuse me, Angie. I do apologise if you're still watching. Are you going to see Monday Night Raw in Boston? Because obviously John Cena is there. If you can, then that's really, really cool. Do you know what? Actually, this Raw, I would really love to be at this Monday Night Raw. So I've always liked them coming from Boston. I remember watching them once from Boston back in the day in the Attitude Era, and some of them were absolutely just completely insane with the crowd. People just showing up to like I can't remember where the arena was in Boston, the one that they turned up to Raw all the time, but like there was people turning in, you could tell they were absolutely wasted, completely steamy, just carrying on and this, that, and the other. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it actually. So yeah, I hope you get to see it. John Doe again. Hi John, you're all right. I was only joking about the thing earlier, by the way. Yeah. I stopped following WWE not long after it changed to WWF. This was also when I was going through puberty and becoming a man. Your passion and knowledge about this is inspired. Oh, thank you, mate. Yeah, to be honest, John, if you're still on, sorry, I don't know if you've gone yet. I started watching it around the same time as you, mate. I started watching WWF in 1988, so I'm from the school of Mr. Perfect, Ravishing Rick Rude, Macho Man Randy Savage, obviously Hogan, Ultimate Ultimate Warrior, Virgil, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase, who was one of the best wrestlers I've seen. One of my favourites was Jake the Snake Roberts. He was like Jake was one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. Killer promo, just everything about him, the music, the DDT. I mean, DDT now is just a wrestling move, but the DDT back in the day was one of the best finishers, as far as I'm concerned, of all time. Jake Roberts was one of my guys. Obviously, Taker was then. You got people like Pap Shango, Legion of Doom were quality. British Bulldog, obviously, rest in peace, Davey. And yeah, obviously Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart, and God bless his soul, Owen. So yeah, that was my era too as well, John. To be honest, I kind of fell out with it like you when. Yeah, it was probably the same time I went through puberty as well, actually, funny enough. I've told this story before, but a lot of the reason I got back into WWE was I don't want to depress people, but like basically when my old fella died, he died in 1997, and I was like 16, 17, however old I was, and obviously I was crushed as everyone usually is when they lose a parent. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, one night, my brother and my mum have gone to bed, and I'm sat drinking beer, like just not wanting to see or speak to anyone, and I'm flicking around on the channels trying to look for something to watch, and all of a sudden I turn on this wrestling show and there's this bloke in black trunks, and I was just like, whatever. And I think, do you know what, I'll turn it back on again. So I turned it on again, and like all of a sudden he's hitting people in the head with steel chairs, and I was like, nah, you're not watching this. This is like WWF. Turn it back. But then I was like, who is that guy? And then the next minute, he's like flipping people off, doing stunners, and then he's getting on top of a top turnbuckle and drinking beer and like smashing cans over his forehead. I was like, who the hell is this guy? And it turned out it was one Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold was the reason I got back into it during the Attitude Era. And basically, it's not. I wouldn't say Stone Cold Steve Austin saved my life or anything as like trite as that, but he honestly, and people might say don't be ridiculous, but honestly, it's true as I'm sat here. I don't get through my father's death as well as I do without Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that is the God's honest truth. If Steve was ever to listen, which I doubt very much he's listening to my live stream I wanted for. Again, as usual, I just want to say thank you, Stone Cold. And yeah, that's why I watch it now, dude, to be honest. So yeah, watching from North Korea. Bloody hell. Welcome, Asamoah. Hi. I was wondering your thoughts on the current knee. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, if anyone wants to report, let's have a look. Luke Chapman 898 for quite blatant racial abuse, and I will be putting up his details all over social media in about 1 minute's time when I've finished. You are more than welcome to do so as well. Don't racially abuse me, you little virgin. Right, let's have a look. John Doe, the Rock lost weight. He is now the pebble. What am I drinking? I won't say the F word. I was drinking water, dude, but I've now run out of water. I really want to have a beer, actually, but I don't know if you're watching in the UK, all the off licenses are closed, and I did not get beer earlier, sadly. So I am actually considering doing a Just Eat and getting some beer, but I'm also conscious of the fact that it's like nearly 12:10. Do I need to be watching beer now? Do I need to be drinking beer at this time of night? Probably not. So I'll probably wait till tomorrow. Do you think athletes and entertainers in this case ponder as much fans such as yourself? Maybe. Don't know, dude. Don't know. Like I said, I just shoot from the hip, John. To be honest, I just like to. Honestly, I just love pro wrestling. I really do. That's why I do all the live streaming and stuff. Yes, obviously, I'm not going to lie. I'm an honest lad. I would like to do this professionally one day. Will I be good enough to do it? Pass, no idea, but I'm going to give it a go. And if I'm not, I'm not. But I like talking about this sort of stuff. I love pro wrestling. Always have done. I can't imagine my life without it. Honestly, I know that sounds really, really, really stupid and daft, but if I couldn't watch wrestling again, it would suck. And yeah, I just love talking about it, love watching it, love going to see it, and it's a huge part of my life. And yeah, just love it, dude, basically. Oh, thank you, John. It's very honestly, mate, it's very, very decent of you. Thank you very much. The Japanese gangster. I don't know, to be honest. Not sure. I've not heard of him, but yes, not sure. Uh, Ella Garcia, I'm back. Hello, Ella. You're all right. Yes, you have my. I think I've said this before, but that is my vaunted wife's name. I'm fairly sure I've said this before, haven't I? I have no idea what that's meant to be. Yes. Yeah. Hi, Ella again. How you doing? Is that a fuggler? That looks like a fuggler. If there is a fuggler like little image thing that you can do on your phone, that would be awesome because my son really loves fugglers. I don't know if anyone knows what fugglers are. I've got no idea, but there are current because my son's into all these like cuddly bears and stuff like that, and he absolutely loves fugglers. There are currently, at last count, I think 123 fugglers in my house. I mean, we might as well be their tenants at this point. There's that many, to be honest. So, Ty Mabry, you going to wrestling? Am I going to wrestling? I don't know if that means if I'm going to wrestling, Ty. If that's what you're asking me, yes, I am. Funnily enough, I'm going to. When's the next wrestling show I'm going to? I'm hoping to get tickets for WWE because they're actually coming in January. I know they've put another couple of dates up. I'm actually going to look on Ticketmaster tonight. There's an outside chance I might be at the Nottingham one. There's one in Newcastle, so I live in Leeds. Newcastle to Leeds. It's a bit of a trek, but it's not that far. So it's about an hour and a half for the train. I'm considering getting tickets for that if I can do. Obviously, shout out to everyone who watches me. Of course, it goes without saying, if I can get tickets for WWE Newcastle, I will, of course, do a vlog and shorts. By the way, another cheap plug for those of you who like wrestling and like maybe like what I do. If you go on the Geek Boy Does Wrestling playlist, there will be WWE Sheffield, WWE Leeds, AEW All In 2023-24, and Forbidden Door of this year. What else have I got on there? I've got a Rev Pro Wrestling vlog, which is an English like independent promotion, but they have a lot of really cool wrestlers on, like Michael Echo and Liam Slater and stuff, who work reasonably regularly in America. And Trent Seven, I saw him there as well. And this, that, and the other. What the hell are the names? The tag team from Liverpool. I can't believe I forgot the name. Grizzled Young Vets. I saw them there as well. So I've got basically about 5 or 6 WWE, like WWE, AEW, and a couple of other wrestling vlogs. So that's all on there if you want to check it out as well. I try and get to at least 6 or 7 wrestling shows a year now if I can do. I'm going to start trying to do a few more British independents. Oh, I might actually be going to see. Um, Shout out to my mate Ross again last night. But one of the guys was talking last night about Riot Pro Wrestling, which is UK sort of north based, and I think they're doing a pay per view in Leeds, and I want to say it's if you know Leeds, if you won't know this if you're not from Leeds, but there's somewhere called Broodnell Social Club. I think they're doing a wrestling event in there, so I might start going to a few more British wrestling events. So because I know there's quite a few people who vlog from there as well. I'm definitely going to go back to Rev Pro Wrestling because that was really really cool. If you were going to watch anything of mine, I'd definitely recommend that because there was some cool matches on there and very very good entertainment at a very good price as well. In terms of next year, I'm definitely going to AEW. AEW All In Free. I think that if it's anything like last year, I think I booked my hotel and the tickets in February last year. So I'm gonna, as soon as they come out, basically I'll have them booked. Like I said, I want to go to WWE in January if I can. I'm not sure with working schedules in the actual job that I do, if that's will if I'll be able to do that. But if I can, obviously I'll do a vlog for that. You would assume WWE would be back in England in April, maybe for a post WrestleMania tour. Um, and then I don't know if they're going to do the August thing again, like for Clash in Paris. I don't know if that's going to be a regular thing, but obviously if it does come back to Leeds, it goes back saying I will definitely be there. So I hope to get to WWE, and I'm going to try and go to Rev Pro Wrestling a couple of times because I was due to go there. No, in fact it's tomorrow. If you can get there, I would thoroughly recommend, by the way, Rev Pro Wrestling at Sheffield tomorrow. I was going to go, but basically I know this is quite embarrassing because of a slight miscalculation with um, whatever money and stuff. I basically can't go. Here's a long story short. So, yes. Sorry about this, folks. I'm gonna have to do something yet again. Man walks into the woman's bathroom. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. So basically, let me just sort this out. So, unfortunately, I appear to have inspired a crowd of, since I've been doing live streams, very, very bizarrely strange people, otherwise known as Pratt, in most of England, who try and disturb the wrestling or the Liverpool shows or any time that I'm on. And I know you're supposed to just like be nice to people and this, that, and the other, and this, that, blah, 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 and turn the other cheek and all that good stuff. No, not on my live stream, sunshine. If you say something, I will just call you a prat and you will be blocked. It's as simple as that. So I will repeat again: if you want to go and abuse someone, find someone weaker because you ain't gonna do it with me, sweetheart. Jog on. So yes. Anyway, who is? Pez? I'll just call you Brock. I can't even say that at this time now. Who's better, John Cena or The Rock? The Rock. End of discussion. Sorry, not even an argument as far as I'm concerned. No, I did. I don't want to be rude towards John Cena. Obviously, he's one of the greatest entertainers of all time. But for me, I grew up with The Rock in the Attitude Era. Literally the building was trembling back in the day in the late 90s. That man, other than Stone Cold Steve Austin, anywhere he went, there was just bedlam and there was chaos. And he was one of the first mega stars of the late 90s, along with Austin and this, that, and the other. So yeah, not even close for me, The Rock. Oh, thank you, John Doe. That's very nice of you. It's been a pleasure, bud. I would enjoy watching you debate wrestling with other fans. You have a great demeanour, a proper lad's lad. All the best, bro. Oh, thank you, John Doe. Seriously. By the way, like I said, just to clarify, I wasn't taking the mick earlier. It was just me being sarcastic towards myself, basically. So yeah, it wasn't meant towards you. Too. Sometimes I have to clarify this because I come across sometimes it's a bit snarky. And I don't mean to be, but yeah, no. Thank you, John, for interacting. That was honestly, mate, 100%. That was very, very decent of you. I always appreciate speaking to nice people. Don't so much appreciate speaking to the people that I've had to block, as you've just seen a minute ago. But what are you going to do? We are living in a country full of complete nutbags, sadly, as Bristol's always been. So yeah, it's just one of these we've got to get on with. But honestly, John, yeah, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, mate, and have a really good night, bro. You too. Triple J, happy birthday. Hulk Hogan Macho Man, we're so much better. Oh, dude, yeah, no, absolutely. Is it, yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, it's just to clarify again, that is the birthday, those are the birthday balloons of my 12-year-old son from last week, and basically he's insisted that we keep the balloons up and for a week for some reason. I don't know. Kids today, like literally, like back in the day when I was like, I had my birthday, and if it was a school night, like all the balloons and toys and everything would have been tidied up and moved the next day, and there'd be no trace of my birthday left over. And now they seem to be like my son's managed to get two lots of kids' parties a day out, um, a birthday with me and his mom, and a birthday with his nan and his brother. And it's like, why are these kids getting multiple birthdays out of one now? I used to get one, but I don't know. I'm an old man, so there we go. Yeah, yes, that's Triple J, though. Triple J. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man was so much better. Oh, dude. Yeah, 1992. Yeah. So, oh, dude, you're the same age as me. You're the same age as me, then. In that case, I won't give away our ages, but yeah, I'm sure people can work it out. Yeah, no, that was my birthday as well. Let's have a look. I need to watch some '90s SummerSlam. Oh, speaking of when we were born, SummerSlam 1992, Wembley Stadium, lights out, brilliant. One of the best pay per views you will ever see in your entire life. It was superb. That was the Brett and Davy Boy main event. It's still one of my favourite pay per views of all time. I'm struggling to remember the rest of the card. I think Legion of Doom came out. I want to say they were wrestling Ted DiBiase and IRS, possibly. I don't know because it's like 33 years ago, so I can't remember too much now. But I'll never forget the Brett and Davy Boy one. That was awesome. Other SummerSlams. I did used to like the Highway to Hell with Taker versus Stone Cold. Not so much the match, but like I think that was the night Triple H and Rock had their ladder match. X-Pac cut Jeff Jarrett's hair and just like really random stuff. SummerSlam 90. I think SummerSlam 1998 was really good from what I remember. I know there was something that happened, kicked off with DX, and I want to say it was Austin versus Mick Foley, possibly. But yeah, no, SummerSlam used to be really, really good. SummerSlam's actually, I think, probably not far off my favourite pay per view, to be honest. It's always been not, I mean, you don't always get a good one, obviously, but they're usually really, really good. So yeah, shout out to SummerSlam. My 12-year-old, but yeah, so exactly, yes, dude. So you will be roughly the same age as me. John Doe, D-Generation X is my favourite entrance song. Oh, entrance song. Oh, dude, you picked a good one there. I'm going to struggle to think of a better one than that. To be honest, John, being like I said, that story I was telling before, and just because of what he means to me and stuff, I'd probably still go with Stone Cold Steve Austin because, like I said, after me dad died, so when we all had like, for the younger people back in the day who were won't be my age, but the people that are my age and know what I'm on about, we used to have cassette tapes with these little wind up bits of tape that literally you taped everything on pretty much, and you used to have these big old headphones and you used to tape all of your favourite songs off the radio, and sometimes you would literally play MTV off a TV and literally just have a radio next to it. and literally just record the sound, and they were terrible, terrible, terrible things. But I used to record wrestling, and I used to have the DX theme. I used to have Y2J's when he first came out. What an entrance that was, by the way. And I had Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I would just like the Stone Cold one I would have on play and repeat, and I'd be wandering around like with the whole BMF walk and everything. I'm like proper thinking I was Stone Cold and stuff, trying to stun people in Derby. Actually, funny story. I ended up in. I don't know if I should say this actually. Being as I'm an adult now and haven't done such things for 30 odd years, but I there was once a disagreement in my former home city of Derby, in which I did not agree with another gentleman's point of view, and we ended up having some Queensberry rules, shall we say, and I tried to execute the worst Stone Cold Stunner in real life that you have ever seen, and basically it was a wonder I didn't tear my ACL completely. But yes, hopefully no one has footage of that from roughly 1998, but it was yes, it was slightly embarrassing to say the least, but still. Yes. Anyway, hopefully no one has footage of that. We didn't have cell phones back in the day, so I don't think there will be. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. Triple J, what wrestler did you find the most annoying? Shawn Michaels was my. Oh, dude. So obviously, I used to think Shawn was a bit of a something rhyming with a lick, shall we say? Yeah, he was super annoying. The reason for that, he reminded me of Bon Jovi. Oh, I used to hate all the guys with longer hair back in the day because I've always been a short hair guy or like a hat guy, and I'm just like, I don't like long hair, and I never have to. If you shout out to people, like my son has longer hair, he's got like long flowing hair to down here. Even though he's like half my colour, and he's got a really cool look actually, but it really suits him because he's a really good looking young lad. But if I had long hair, I mean, I would just look ridiculous. But regardless, I didn't like Shawn because I just thought he was a bit of a high spot artist, as Stone Cold said on one of his podcasts. But then, obviously, as I grew to new wrestling, I just thought he was some flash bloke. Um, who was just playing with his hair and was just a pretty boy, and all the girls liked him. And obviously, lads of mine and John's era will be like, yeah, I did not like people like that at all. Like I was a lad's lad, so people like that, I'd just be like, whatever, get lost. But obviously, as you get older, obviously you see things through different perspectives. And Shawn Michaels, long story short, is one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. It's just at that time I found him insanely annoying. But yeah, shout out to Shawn because he's one of the greatest to ever do it. To lace with a pair of boots, as far as I'm concerned. So to answer your question, Jay, wrestler that I found most annoying. Do you know what? I'm going to have to pull an Eric Bischoff actually and say, let me come back to you. I'm going to have a good think about that. I'll do you one slightly, I wouldn't say better, but I'll do you an alternative wrestler I found most annoying at the minute, and it's not his fault. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, and he's a very talented wrestler. And I hate saying this, I really do, but if I was going to give it to a wrestler or wrestlers currently, it has to be Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. Um, Worst faction I've ever seen. The music is hideous. These new costumes where they look like something out of the Mexican celebration of Day of the Dead, I haven't got a clue what that is meant to be. I don't know what the group is trying to do. I don't know what it is I'm meant to be seeing. I Their matches are terrible. Anyone that works with them ends up losing momentum, like Jacob Fatu, for example, like Sami Zayn, and they are basically ruining half of SmackDown at the minute. I think they're legitimately one of the worst factions I've ever seen, and I don't like doing that sort of things. I'm not one of those online troll wrestling garbage people that's just like trying to poke wrestlers and trying to get them to react. Genuinely, I love wrestling. I want all wrestlers to earn some money. I want them all to be happy, healthy, and make loads of money out of the business. And I wish none of them any ill will whatsoever. But you have to call a spade, and I like most of the wrestling that I see. But every now and again, there's something that I don't like, and I'm afraid it's Solo Sikoa in the MFTs. I like Solo as a If Solo's just a member of the bloodline and he's not the leader of the group, fantastic, not a problem at all. He's got a great look. He's got a great. I really like the Samoan Spike. I like his athleticism, and if he, let's say for some reason, if he was in a group still in the bloodline with Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Roman Reigns, and they were still part of the bloodline, fine. Solo Sikoa is not good enough to lead a group, in my opinion. That's no disrespect to him whatsoever. There are some people that can do it and some people that can't. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, other than that, someone that I found annoying. It's just popped into my head. I don't know about annoying, but just because some of the things he says and some of the things that he used to say and his lack of remorse about a certain injury back in the day. Now, I have respect for this guy, a lot of respect after what he's achieved. I find some of Goldberg's comments at times to be quite disrespectful. I didn't like the way that he didn't apologise to Brett. Because he's done this whole thing of like, well, I've apologised to him many years later. And it's like, yeah, but dude, you ended the guy's career. I mean, if I do that and then I end up having the career Goldberg has, and whenever I'm asked about it, I'm just open and honest and say, look, I will call Brett for the rest of my life, and if he thinks I'm a tool, so be it. All I can do is try and I just apologise to him so much. You don't go on and start bashing the bloke when he's lost. I mean, Bret Hart was, I don't know, when he retired. I want to say Bret was maybe 42, maybe 43. You're talking Bret Hart could have had another 10, 15 years at the top level. Manager, producer, and he's lost all that. I'm not suggesting it's all because of Bill Goldberg, but obviously it didn't help. And then it's just like the ungratefulness of him sometimes. Like the last, when he retired, look, I thought the Goldberg treatment was appalling, absolutely atrocious on that last night. But to then come out and just be like, oh, WWE is this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and they've screwed me, and it's just like, mate, you got to retire how you want to. You know what I mean? Like, how many wrestlers actually get that? And it's just like, I mean, there were still people that turned up just to see you. I mean, could you not show a little bit of gratitude? So, yeah, I suppose probably maybe Goldberg, but I do like Goldberg. And I've got nothing against the bloke whatsoever. I just find some of his comments at times that I do find annoying, to be honest. And maybe Goldberg, Kurt Angle for me, but he was supposed to be. Yeah, oh, dude, absolutely. I cottoned on to what Kurt was doing. So I don't know if you remember this, John, but if you remember back in the day, I want to say this was early 99, maybe back end of 98. I can't remember what it was. And we're all watching Raw. And there's people drinking, there's hot girls, and so on and so forth, and lads carrying on at bars and this, that, and the other, and people trying to attack each other with chainsaws and God knows what else. This was the 90s, kids. If you were wondering what the hell I'm talking about, basically the late 1990s were just like free for all. You would go into bars, there'd be, I mean, this was just in England, there'd be fights, there'd be lads getting up to all kinds of stuff, trying to do this, that, and the other, and that's just how it was back in the day. But yeah, during all that, there were these vignettes with this Olympic guy, and it was so counter-intuitive to what the programming was, because you had like people like being attached to crucifixes, being burnt alive, and God knows what else. And then there was this American guy, like clean-cut Olympian, wanting to showcase his talents with this awful smile, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? I thought it was literally a promo for another show at one point. And then obviously it was realised after all that it was Kurt Angle. So Kurt debuts and basically comes out, and I think Kurt spoke about this in later years, but I genuinely think he was expecting to be cheered. And obviously at the time, like, we all wanted Stone Cold Steve Austin, we wanted The Rock, we wanted Y2J, we wanted, I don't know, bloody Triple H or X Pac or Road Dogg or Billy Gunn or whatever, or Goldberg from WCW and the list, Taker and Diamond Dallas Page and so on and so forth. We didn't want Kurt Angle. It was like we didn't like stuff like that back in the day. We didn't like Perfect. It was like in the 90s, a lot of 90s kids like we all hated boy band music. So like Backstreet Boys and like whatever else, and Britney Spears. We thought that sucked. That's why a lot of us ended up listening to do metal, like Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park, and it was all tied into that sort of culture at the time. It was all like counterculture and stuff. It's a shame my generation's turned into a huge bag of something rhyming with Ricks, sadly, but still. Yes, sorry, went a bit political then. But yeah, Angle debuted, and he was literally like, "You do not boo an Olympic gold medalist." And I think Kurt spoke about it, and I think he actually picked up the mic, and he was absolutely livid. And they came back, and he was like, "Oh, well done, Kurt. You've got over. You've got over." And it's like, "What are you on about? Those people booing me. They were being horrible." It's like, Kurt, that's what you're meant to do. You're a heel. And he's like, "Well, I don't want to be a heel." It's like, yeah, but if you get over as a heel and people really like you, then you'll become a face. And then they had to explain to me, and obviously he went on to have the career he did. So yeah, shout out to Kurt. But yes, at the time he was very, very annoying. There was another one that I suddenly thought of then who was really annoying. It's just left my head. There was a guy who was he's Australian or South African. I can't remember which, but he was meant to be like this English party guy, and he used to come to the ring with like a carnival of people dancing, and he had a ponytail, and I cannot remember his name for love nor money, but I think he started off at NXT, and basically he was like this party guy, and then that was his only thing. I ain't got a clue what his name was now, but that I was just like, I don't. Basically, a lot of the things I don't like is when you've got a silly gimmick. This is why I've kind of got a problem with Kiana James, not the human being Kiana James, because obviously it's not her fault. She looks like a really good wrestler, but her gimmick is, I mean, it's dreadful. I mean, if that's meant to be a solicitor's outfit, I mean, I'm on a slot. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let me have a look. Oh, thank you, Ali the AI. Greetings from the digital side, here to tune into the energy of football, wrestling, and fandom. Love the passion in this channel. Oh, thank you, mate. That's very kind of you. Triple J, I've just remembered the very skinny 1-2-3. Did he ever win? He did win a very famous match against, God rest his soul, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. That match when Razor actually put him over, where everyone was just like, what, it was like meant to be the biggest upset of all time. And then obviously he turned into X-Pac at the end because him and Scott were friends back in the day. So yeah, he did actually win a match, to be fair to him. Yeah, well too late for that apology. I forgot. Yeah, no, yeah, like I said, I mean, like I said, if I'd done something like that to someone, I mean, it's just being human, isn't it? You just wouldn't have the cheek to ever respond. You would just be like, yeah, I did this, I'm so sorry, just please can you forgive me. You don't keep going back to it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like I say, I have respect for what Bill Goldberg did, but I don't have respect for his lack of remorse, I'm afraid. I just remember Kurt's entrance song and everyone chanting "You suck, you suck." Lol, memories. Yeah, oh dude, actually it was absolutely brilliant. Like I said, I loved the really early Kurt Angle, because obviously when it's amateur wrestling, because back in the day I didn't know that you could cross between amateur and professional, and I was like, oh god, here we go, it's just gonna be a load of boring wrestling. And Kurt literally was the first who got it like that. That's why, as much as I despise Logan Paul, the human being, I've got to say shout out Logan, because as much as it infuriates me, I do not like the bloke personally. I have to say he's very, very good, and he's done a very good job, and his matches are excellent. That match he's just had with Cena was possibly one of the best I've seen this year, and he is a very good heel, and he knows how to work a crowd. So as much as I think Logan Paul is an absolute pillock of the highest order, shout out to the bloke. You know what I mean? Oh, the Bushwhackers. Yeah. Sorry, that was my really poor Bushwhackers. But yeah, no, bro, I used to love the Bushwhackers as well. They were like my basically it was Legion of Doom, and then Bushwhackers were my second favourite tag team. I did like the Rockers as well, but again, as that little rant I've just done about Shawn Michaels, the long hair thing and the fact all the girls liked him, I was just like, yeah, that doesn't work for me at all, to be honest, dude. So yeah, there we go. Right, guys. It is 20. What is it? 25-1. I am making a move because I have a ADHD son who will be excitedly getting up in 6 hours' time, and yes, I need to go and get some sleep for another exciting day awaits me. And yes, I get my opinions on. I get my chance to watch Liverpool lose 7-0 to Manchester City, so it's going to be a good day tomorrow. Now, hopefully, we can do the basics. I'll just answer this one last question, Triple J. Opinions on Booker T, one move, one. Ooh, I get where you're coming from. I don't think Booker T, he's never been one of my favourites at all. I respect what Booker did. Especially, I don't want to get into whole black stuff because look, wrestling is colourblind. I couldn't care less if you're purple with three heads and or like you're a peacock or something like that or whatever, or you're wrestling and you're dressed as a xenomorph. As long as you're a good wrestler, I couldn't care less. Booker, the reason I was saying all that was obviously there weren't quite as many black wrestlers as there were back in the day, and it was quite difficult for them to get TV time. So I do respect Booker for, obviously, from my personal opinion, I will always respect Booker for that, for getting onto TV and having the career that he did. In terms of his wrestling, he's not the best wrestler I've ever seen by any stretch. Not at all. But I still think he's a very, very good wrestler. But he's not. He wouldn't be in my personal top 10 or anything like that. I agree with you. I don't know about a one move wonder, but I can understand. It was very much the same thing, repetition over and over again. But I mean, he was a good worker, Booker. He was just not one of my favourites for me. But I do respect him for what he did and what he's brought to the business. To be fair to him. I have ADHD too till the next chat. Rest good. I will do Triple J. Well, Triple J. Yes, great talk of the good old days. I was going to say, Triple J, that I have my missus has ADHD. We think I should probably clarify. We think my son has ADHD. Look, we're astonishingly sure that he does. We're waiting to have the initial analysis and stuff, but he's definitely on the spectrum. We do know that because obviously we know our own son. And I would be. I mean, it could be another condition, but he's definitely got something. That we've all got something in my family. I know I've got something. I've just been diagnosed with stress. What have I got? Stress, depression, and something or other. What's the anxiety? That's the one. And I have to take tablets and stuff because to like level me out. This is why like when all the tablets work, I'm quite hyper like this basically and can talk for hours and hours and hours. But first thing in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, I need tablet. And as soon as I have a tablet, it's like one of those old clocks. It's like that. You know what I mean? So, let me have a look. Oh God, right. I'll just answer these folks quickly, and then, like I said, I'm going to get off. Great talk of the good old days. Yeah, no problem, Joe. Question 6864. What are some of the common symptoms of ADHD? Well, I could go through some questions because obviously I can't say it myself in respect of that I don't have the condition, but obviously I have two very close family members to me who do have the condition, so I can try and explain it from the point of view of the guy who's not a carer. Yes. Yes. Thank you, John, for that. I can expect not as their carer, but as someone who's loves them and this, that, and the other. So, very easily distracted. As in, not when people are like, oh, that's just concentration. It's like this is a distraction where. So my I'll have to be careful. I don't want to be mentioning her on live streams and stuff, but basically my missus will I'm trying to think of an example. Will come in to a living room, with a load of papers, and then she'll throw them on the floor, and then something will go in her brain. Oh yeah, I need to do the water the garden, and then she'll run outside into the garden, and then she'll come back in about 30 minutes later, and I know what's going to happen, so I'm sat there reading the newspaper. And after about an hour, I'll look at her and then I'll look at the pile of paper and then she'll look at me and go, what's up? And I'll be like, paper on the floor? It's like, why did you put that there for? It's like, no, wife, you put it on the floor. And legitimately, she'll just be like, did I? That's a very, very bad example, but it's stuff like that. So it's lack of concentration. In terms of both of them, when they talk, they can be having conversations, and then they will literally. So my missus, and she doesn't mean to do it. She will literally we'll be having a conversation, full on conversation, and literally sometimes she would just get up and leave the room. And like before she was diagnosed, I used to go mental. I was like, "Why aren't you doing it?" And now, obviously, because we've known about a condition for years and years and years. To be honest, as like her support animal or whatever you want to call me, sometimes she just walks out the room, and I'm just like, she'll be back eventually, and eventually she'll come back and say, "Oh, it's that conversation we were having," and I was just like, "Yeah, that was yesterday, love, but that's cool, it's fine." So there's that. Sometimes both my son and my missus have mentioned points where there's too much in their brain. So I've kind of got a similar thing with my stress and anxiety. So I don't know why. Apologies to anyone who was listening to the wrestling podcast, by the way, but it's the same sort of thing with me. Sometimes they will have. I don't want to call them freakouts, but it's disrespectful. But they'll have moments where there's too much that's going on, and it will hit their brains, and they're just like, "I need to be left alone." And sometimes one will go upstairs and the other will go upstairs, and obviously when I didn't know about the condition so much, I was just like, "Oh, I'm having a tantrum, this, that, and the other," which I feel guilty about. But obviously we had to go for meetings and that, and then obviously my missus was diagnosed. And now, to be honest, now I just will go up to her and say, "Do you want me to leave?" And she will literally blunt and say yes. And I'm like, "Cool, right, son, let's go away." And that's it. And then we'll come back 2 or 3 hours later, and it's like, "Are we all right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine now. Cool, that's it." And so that's probably a perspective from like I said, not a carer, but just a partner who's learned to deal with it and deal with it for the son. Obviously, my missus and people will know, like Triple J, well, I think still a comment, will know better than me with having the condition. But just from my point of view, that's kind of what it entails from a second person's perspective. I hope that kind of makes sense. But I don't know. There we go. Let me have a look. Forgetting words, leaving things half done, hyperthinking, not able to move. Yeah, depression, anxiety, brain days not being able to function. There is 7 types. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, Triple J, you sum it up way better than me. I mean, obviously, I mentioned a couple of those. Before, I mean, my condition, I can only really speak on the condition I've been diagnosed with. Like, obviously, I know what I take my tablets for and why my brain does what it does. So, but I can't explain what an ADHD person does as well as they could, basically. So, yeah, there we go. Hey, Rahula, Ghanaian brother. Always, dude. Always. Oh, dude. I would have. I had my Ghana wristband on all day, and I've taken it off somehow. I don't know where I put it now, but I've just bought a new Ghana wristband. I've bought new like Ghana merch and stuff. I've just got a shirt for the World Cup. It's like this. It's like this massive Ghana double XL shirt. So it's like all black, and then it's got the Ghanaian national flag on. But it's like a shredded flag at the end kind of thing, if you know what I mean. So I've got that. I've got another blue Ghana top, and I've got a Ghana national team top coming as well. So I want it all ready for next summer because honestly, I can't wait for Ghana to be in the World Cup. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Shout out to the Black Stars for qualifying. Yeah, and shout out to all my Ghanaians. For people who do know, by the way, obviously you'll know this, but I've also got I keep forgetting to mention this, I've got a Geek Boy Does Ghana playlist as well, because for those who don't know, I'm half Ghanaian. British Ghanaian, whatever it is you want to call me. I'm a human being, basically, but yeah, British Ghanaian, whatever it is you want to call me. My old fellow was Ghanaian, and obviously when Ghana did are doing really well and qualified for the World Cup. I did a vlog about it if you want to check it out. It meant the world to me because it made me feel a bit close to my old fella who I miss all the time. And yeah, I'm proud to be Ghanaian and it's part of my heritage. And just, yeah, shout out to all the Ghanaians out there. Is this an intervention? What were we talking about? Oh, dude, literally. Someone asked me about ADHD and I ended up telling them about my family's ADHD history and also my anxiety, stress, and depression. Like I said, we've just got one of those. we've got one of those families, those families that you see on documentaries where that we're a nice family, but we've all got our little idiosyncrasies, if I can even say the word. We're all a bit weird. We're all a bit hyped. We like comic books. I'm actually sat in a room full of Lego. That's not even mine. It's my missus and my son. Basically, our living room is a Lego playroom, and upstairs in my room there's like toys, collectibles. There's like Transformers figures, Batman figures, Marvel figures. We just have one of those families, one of those very strange, fun but cool houses. So yeah, there we go. It's all good. It's better than being boring anyway. Question 68694 makes sense, but no problem, mate. No problem. Like I said, Triple J will know far more than me about that subject. Shout out to Triple J as well. I know obviously it can be a bad condition sometimes. I mean, like I say, it's weird because my missus has said, and I can't get this into my head sometimes. She said sometimes she's ADHD. Sometimes it's like what AJ Lee said. It's like her superpower. Like, does it not bother you sometimes? And she's like, sometimes randomly, it's quite helpful for me. Which obviously I don't have the condition, so I'm kind of like, I don't get that, but I kind of see where she's coming from a little bit now. But my one's different. Basically, I get panic attacks and stuff, so I can go super hyper like this. And I need to take tablets to sort of level me out. Like I said, I'm not embarrassed about talking about it. I couldn't care less. But we've all got something that's up with us at the end of the day. So yeah, my one's slightly different. Sometimes I can be like this, and sometimes I go, or so yeah, and I take a bit of medication now, and it just levels me out. And yeah, basically, we're all human. We've all got something wrong with us, haven't we? You must be the cool uncle family member when other kids show up to you. Oh, dude, seriously, literally, we are. I'll just show you quickly, mate, before I head off. You say cool uncle. This is our living room. Yeah. So that'll give you an example of my sort of, yes, I am the cool uncle dude, and that gives that will, if that's not an example of how crazy my house is, I don't know what else is basically. Let me have a look. Triple J, it usually does uses your concentrate, but you can burn you out. Yeah, dude. It's exactly the sort of thing that me and my missus talk about. Like I said, it's just a case of just it's just a case of me from my point of view, just listening to her, and then sometimes I've got to do the same thing. I would literally just go into the kitchen. She'll be like, "You all right?" And it's like I'm having a panic attack, and she'll be like, "You don't look panicked," and I'm like, "I know I don't look it, but my heart's going like 300 miles a minute at the minute." So I literally take a tablet, go outside, wander around, and I'm better. It's just about listening to people at the end of the day, Triple J. You know what I mean? It's just about listening to what people need and just not judging them. So this is why I just don't judge people. Like I said, we've all got something quote unquote wrong with us, or something we need a bit of help with to adjust ourselves. And it's just about being honest and not being afraid of that sort of stuff. Um, are you taking any rumour? Not a chance for a rumour. Not a chance. Look. I have enough housemates in this house as it is. It's absolute bloody chaos in this house for like 14 hours a day. So thank you for your invitation, but no, I've already got two utter and complete weirdos upstairs. I don't need like 20 more people turning up. But yeah, if I can ever move them out, I'll move you in, dude. It'll be nice to have another Garnet in it. Uh, let me have a look. That is cool house. That is cool house. Them Lego heads, just like my room. Things to do. Oh, dude, literally. Next time I'm on, I'll take you upstairs to the what I call the command centre. That's my boy room. And if you think that room is cool, I'm sure my missus would disagree because she loves the Lego. Think this room is cool. Wait till you see mine. I'll just leave it at that. It's hard to breathe when you're in a panic attack, but yeah, dude, honestly, it's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. I mean, funnily enough, I thought I was having one a bit earlier, and sometimes I just can't tell. But yeah, yeah, it's horrible, dude. It's horrible. Right, guys. I'm gonna head off because literally I'm doing this on a phone and I've just realised I have 3% battery, which is very, very unprofessional. But honestly, guys, thanks very much for sticking with me tonight, and thanks everyone for comment. Shouted out to Triple J. Thanks for my Ghanaian. Oh, you're not a Ghanaian. All right, fair enough. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, no, yes, dude, yes, yeah. From India. Sorry, yes, I do remember. Yeah, it was about 5 6 weeks ago. Yeah, we had a chat, didn't we? Yeah. No, I do remember you, dude. I do remember you. Shout out to everyone for you watching. Shout out to everyone watching. I've now got 2% batteries gone. I have to wrap this up very quickly. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you all. I'll be on again Monday at about 10:30 when we're talking about Liverpool. When hopefully we smash Manchester City, which is not going to happen, but you never know. Fingers crossed. Anyway, night all. Love yous. Speak to you later. Bye bye.